Okay, so ended up breaking even on the day. Um, Gonna go over the second trade I took in the PM session here. I went over this morning's trade that I took a loss on. Um, Ended up taking a 1-to-1 here that I ended up hitting full take profit on, which was nice to see. So I'm just gonna go over why I entered the trade, and yeah. So honestly, this morning I was bearish, just based off a 4 hour and 1 hour order flow. So I took a bearish setup, and I'm okay with that. But come PM session, I had switched my bias to bulls, and I'll explain why. It's nice to see if I'm going to be bullish that the daily's in line with my bias. So it's always a good positive confluence to have. It's not necessary. Like this morning, I took a sell because 4 hour and 1 hour time frames were bearish, but the bias, of course, on the daily was still bullish. You don't need it if I'm intraday trading, but it's nice to have for sure. 4 hour here is, just we're just vibing, dude. I mean, this is just a range. That's why I didn't shoot for anything too crazy. Like, realistically, it's not even like this high was a crazy target, but I knew that. I mean, just based off of what we're doing right now, we're in a tight range on the 4 hour. I didn't want to chance anything, so I just targeted the nearest high, which made sense to me. So that's that. As you can see, like, who knows, we could still end up hitting this before we go lower, but I mean, right now we're rejecting nicely off of where I took profit, which is good to see. But again, like, we're in a range on the 4 hour. Technically, we're bearish on the 4 hour. Like, if you count, like, this is where the breaker structure happened. Disrespect order flow here, and then we never switched structure back to bulls. So technically bearish, but it's in such a range that I don't really even. It's nothing to me, to be honest. 1 hour switch to bullishness, in line with the daily by the time I took this trade, so that was good to see. And on the 15 minute, we were bullish as well. Once I took this trade, I got in off of this candle here, right there. So at that point, this candle here had broken structure, and we were bullish on the 15 minute as well. You could see the sweep on the 15 minute here, which is the sweep that I entered off of. The higher time frame PD array was a little iffy for this trade, but it was and the reason I say iffy is because I don't like to use order blocks, but this order block here, right, on this candle, this dark candle here, was the order block that we ended up tapping back into and respecting it and going higher from there. Actually, as you can see, I marked this out while I was in the trade, but the midpoint of the body of this order block is exactly what we tapped and went higher, so that's good to see. Again, you can see the sweep a little bit better on the 5 minute here, so nice sweep, nice distribution. I entered off of the inversion fair value gap here once we tap back into it. Better risk to reward would have been to enter off of this fair value gap here, but I always enter off of the nearest one if it allows me for anything 1-to-1 or more. And then, yeah, there you go, a little bit of drawdown, and then hit TP. I will be honest with you, I was very, very concerned over this trade, just because I'm very happy with how I stuck with it and just let it play out. But I was second guessing myself a lot during this trade because, number one, I lost the trade this morning, so to lose 2 trades in a day is allowable based off of my trading plan. I can take 2 losing trades and then call it a day from there. That's the max loss I can hit, but of course you don't want to hit max loss ever, right? So that was kind of haunting me a little bit, I won't lie. And then just the fact that on the 1 minute we looked very poor, in my opinion, like around this. But again, this is me, probably my mind playing tricks on me, just because I was looking for an excuse to get out. Honestly, I was a little nervous didn't want to lose a second trade on the day, but again, happy I stuck with it. But the 1 minute just didn't look all that great after I entered here. I didn't like how we were leaving like smooth lows here, and like we were very lackadaisical and whatnot, especially after FOMC minutes, I thought maybe we'd get, and we did end up getting a move, but then we started chopping sideways again, so I didn't really like that. But yeah, that was the trade. Kind of went over my psychology, went over why I took it. You know, I didn't stray away from my trading plan, which is nice to see. I also didn't. I didn't allow my emotions to take over. I entered the trade and I let it play out, which is also very good to see. I'm happy with my take profit here, right? It's a bit more of an advanced skill to understand how price is moving right now, and you know, maybe I shouldn't end up going for this, even though it looked attainable for sure, equal highs here. But to know that, you know, I probably should just go for low-hanging fruit because of how price is playing out in the 4 hour, right? That's a more advanced level skill that I'm happy I've kind of gained over my years of back testing and now my year here of trading, you know, live markets. So yeah, that was the setup. I will show the executions. Give it a second to pop up. Okay, and so yeah, here are the executions. As you can see, this is this morning's, where I already showed in my previous video today, where I took a loss, and then here's the winning trade here. Here's the 5 minute to show the entry better, right? Got in with this candle once we tapped into this inversion fair value gap, got out at that high, and yeah, as you can see, break even on the day. So